He was born a slave, tortured and subjugated by his master. He owned nothing, not his body, not his time, not even his own name. He had zero control over his circumstances, zero freedom, zero advantage, zero helpers. Yet, by the time he died, emperors traveled across empires to seek his wisdom. He became one of the most powerful philosophers in Roman history. Epictetus, a man with nothing, became someone who had everything that actually matters. But how did a crippled slave attract what free men with armies couldn't force into existence? He discovered something the modern world has completely forgotten. Today, I'm showing you the 7 principles Epictetus and the Stoics used to make everything come to them. The shocking thing about today's video is that one of these principles will destroy your entire relationship with the concept of effort. But when you are done with this video, you will have a clear path to your deepest desires. A line so straight you can walk into it with your eyes closed. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, smash that like button right now with intention. It shows you are finally ready to transform your life. And if you're watching from the USA, drop a comment. I want to know exactly where this wisdom is landing tonight. Because this isn't a mental theory. This is how the universe was designed. 1. Certainty attracts. Desperation repels. You know that feeling when you want something so badly it physically hurts? That ache in your chest when you check your bank account? That knot in your stomach when you see that girl with someone else? That desperation when you refresh your email, hoping for the job offer? That feeling, that's exactly what's blocking everything you want. Here's the psychology you need to understand. Desperation broadcasts weakness. It tells the world, and worse, it tells the universe, that you don't believe you're worthy of what you're asking for. People can smell it on you. Opportunities avoid it. Success runs from it. But certainty is magnetic. When you know something is yours, even before it arrives, you move differently. You speak differently. You make decisions from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. And that energy shift changes everything. Marcus Aurelius commanded armies and ruled an empire, but he wrote in his private journal, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny." He understood something most men never learn, that true power comes from wanting without needing. Picture this. 2 men walk into a business meeting. One is desperate for the deal. He's overeager, talks too much, offers discounts before anyone asks. The other man wants the deal, but he's completely fine walking away if it's not right. Which man gets better terms? Which man would get respect? The difference isn't in their skill or their product. It's in their energy. One is chasing, one is attracting. This doesn't mean you stop setting goals or taking action. It means you stop letting outcomes control your emotional state. You work what you want while being genuinely okay if it doesn't happen exactly as you planned. Because here's the truth. The universe often has something better waiting, but you'll never see it if you're tunnel-visioned on your desperate attachment to one specific outcome. Practice this today. Think about your biggest goal. Now add these 4 words, this or something better. Feel how that releases the stranglehold of need and opens up infinite possibilities. The next principle will make scales fall off your eyes. Be sensitive. 2. You can't receive what you're frantically chasing. Your hands are full. Not with what you want, with anxiety, plans, strategies, backup plans, and the exhausting mental gymnastics of trying to control everything. And because your hands are full, you can't catch what's being thrown to you. Epictetus wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few needs." This is the principle that separates men who attract success from men who chase it forever. When you are in constant motion, hustling, grinding, forcing, you miss the subtle signs pointing you toward better opportunities. You're so busy banging on the locked door that you don't notice the window that's wide open. Think about the best things that happened in your life. The relationship that actually worked. The opportunity that changed your trajectory. The breakthrough that seemed to come out of nowhere. How many of them happened when you were desperately chasing them? Probably none. They came when you were present, open, and not attached to a specific outcome. This is what Stoics called preferred indifference. You prefer success, you work toward it, but your peace doesn't depend on it. Your identity isn't wrapped up in getting it. And paradoxically, that's exactly the energy that attracts it. Modern psychology backs this up. Countless studies have shown that people make worse decisions under pressure. Desperation clouds judgment. Anxiety narrows your field of vision. But calm confidence expands your awareness and allows you to see opportunities you'd otherwise miss. Here's your practice. Before you check social media, before you look at your bank account, before you reach out to that person you're thinking about, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, am I about to act from abundance or scarcity? Then make your move from the right energy. The opportunities you want are already looking for you, but they can't find you if you're running in circles. The third principle goes against everything you have ever believed. Ready for it? 3. Obstacles aren't blocking your path. They are your path. Yes, you've been lied to. Someone told you that if you're on the right path, everything should be easy. That if you're meant to have something, it'll flow effortlessly. So when you hit resistance, you think you're going the wrong way. You're not. You're being forged. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, war, and constant threats to his empire. Yet he wrote one of the most powerful lines in Stoic philosophy. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't poetic jargon. This is the blueprint for turning every setback into a setup for something greater. Every obstacle is either breaking you down or building you up. The only difference is how you interpret it. Think about the last major setback you faced, the relationship that ended, the business that failed, the opportunity that fell through. In that moment, it felt like the universe was against you. But now, with distance, can you see how it redirected you towards something better, how it taught you something you desperately needed to learn? That's not coincidence. That's the intelligence of resistance. When you stop resisting resistance, you tap into a level of power most people never access. You stop wasting energy fighting reality and start using that energy to navigate through reality. You become like water, flexible, persistent, unstoppable. But here's where most people fail. They accept obstacles intellectually, but resist them emotionally. They say everything happens for a reason, but spend hours complaining about what happened. That's not acceptance. That's cosmic bypassing. Real acceptance looks like this. This isn't what I wanted. This is uncomfortable, and I'm going to find the advantage hidden inside this discomfort. That's Stoic strength. That's the mindset that turns losses into lessons and lessons into leverage. Next time something goes wrong, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this making possible?" The answer will change your life. That's 3 down. The next one is where things get tactical. This is the principle that separates those who manifest from those who just hope in vain. 4. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. You see, every event, every person, every challenge asks for your permission before it becomes part of your reality. When you choose to worry, you give chaos permission to walk in. When you're easily distracted, you give delay permission to increase. When you're easily provoked, you give manipulation an opportunity to disrupt your most carefully laid out plans. And that is how most people spend their lives, unconsciously signing contracts with the very forces that drain them. Remember this for the rest of your life. Your reality isn't punishing you, it's reflecting you. The noise outside is just your inner disorder echoing back at full volume. So if your days are filled with drama, conflict and disruptions, it's not because life is cruel, it's because you've opened that door yourself. Every reaction, every thought, every assumption is a stamp of approval on what unfolds next. The shift begins when you stop trying to control outcomes and start mastering the instrument through which life plays, your own mental state. Each morning, before you face the world, you decide, will life pass through fear or through faith? Through anger or through calm? Through scarcity or through abundance? And then you protect that decision like your life depends on it, because it does. That's the quiet secret every Stoic lived by. You don't command the world, you command the lens through which the world appears. Master that, and life no longer happens to you. It starts happening through you. Did you clock that? Comment, life happens through me, if you are paying attention. 5. Strategic stillness beats frantic motion. You're addicted to doing, addicted to motion, addicted to the feeling that if you're not constantly moving, you're falling behind. But most of your activity, it's anxiety wearing a productivity mask. The Stoics understood something our hustle-obsessed culture forgot. There's a massive difference between being busy and being effective, between motion and progress, between forcing and allowing. Lao Tzu, whose philosophy deeply influenced Stoic thought, said, "Do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear?" Most men don't. They keep stirring the water, then wonder why they can't see the bottom. Here's what strategic stillness actually is. It's knowing when you've done your part and trusting the process to do its part. It's planting seeds and resisting the urge to dig them up every day to check if they're growing. It's making your move and then having the confidence to let it work. Think about the most powerful moves in chess. They're not aggressive attacks, they're patient setups. The master knows when to wait, when to let the opponent make the mistake, when to let the position mature before striking. Your life is the same. Some opportunities need time to develop. Some situations need space to unfold. Some people need room to make their own decisions. And if you force it too early, you destroy what could have been. But this isn't passive. This isn't giving up. This is having the wisdom to know the difference between inspired action and anxious motion. Inspired action moves you forward. Anxious motion just burns energy while keeping you in place. Practice this. When you feel the urge to force something, to send that text, to push that conversation, to chase that opportunity, pause. Ask yourself, is this inspired action or anxiety in disguise? If it's anxiety, sit with the discomfort instead of acting on it. Watch what happens when you give the universe space to work. 6. Gratitude isn't polite. It's power. Most people think gratitude is about being nice or positive. It's not. Gratitude is one of the most ruthlessly effective manifestation tools you'll ever use, and most men are too proud to leverage it. Here's the mechanism. When you're focused on what you lack, you operate from scarcity. That energy repels opportunities. But when you're genuinely grateful for what you have, even if it's not much, you operate from abundance. And abundance of energy is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius woke up every morning and reminded himself to be grateful. Not because life was easy, his life was brutal, but because gratitude was how he maintained his power in the face of chaos. This isn't toxic positivity. You don't pretend problems don't exist. You acknowledge them while choosing to focus on what's working instead of what's broken. That shift in focus changes your entire energy signature. Think about this practically. Two men have the same amount in their bank account. One constantly complains about what he doesn't have. The other is genuinely grateful for what he does have while working for more. Which one do you want to do business with? Which one do people want to help? Which one attracts opportunities? The grateful one, every time. Here's your practice. Every night before sleep, mentally list 3 things that went right today. Not big things, small things. The conversation that went well, the meal you enjoyed, the problem you solved. This programs your subconscious to look for what's working instead of what's failing. That shift in perception changes what you attract, because you're not radiating lack anymore. You're radiating appreciation. And life gives more to those who appreciate what they already have. This last one will deliver you from worry permanently. 7. Your timeline is wrong. Trust the process. This will test you. Everything you want is coming, just not on your schedule, and your impatience is the only thing standing between you and everything you've been asking for. The Stoics believed in divine timing, the idea that everything unfolds exactly when it's meant to, not when you think it should. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." Your resistance to timing creates suffering. You think you're late, you think you've missed your shot, you think everyone else is ahead, but that's your limited perspective talking. The universe operates on a timeline you can't see from where you're standing. Think about the best things in your life. Did any of them happen on your timeline? Probably not. They came late, through unexpected channels, in ways you didn't anticipate. And looking back, can you see why the timing was actually perfect? Can you see why you needed to grow first, and why the situation needed to develop? That's divine timing, and it's always working, even when it feels like nothing's working. Here's the shift. Stop asking, when will this happen? Start asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Because delays aren't denials. They're preparation periods. The universe is either making you ready for what you want, or making what you want ready for you. Your job isn't to control timing, it's to stay ready, stay aligned, and trust that what's meant for you will find you at the exact right moment. Not a second early, not a second late. Exactly when all the pieces are in place. You've just been handed 7 principles that most men never learn in their lifetime. Let me tie this together because this is where transformation happens. You don't chase. You become magnetic by embodying certainty instead of desperation. You stop running in circles and create space to receive what's already coming. You embrace obstacles as a curriculum designed specifically for your growth. You stop letting life happen to you by reacting differently. You master strategic stillness and stop confusing motion with progress. You leverage gratitude as the abundance frequency that attracts more, and you surrender your timeline to trust divine timing. This isn't passive. This is the most active thing you'll ever do, the constant choice to align with how reality actually works instead of fighting it. The men who master this don't look busy, they look calm. They don't appear to be hustling, they appear to be receiving. And that's exactly what they're doing. Everything you want is already moving toward you. Your job is to get out of the way. So here's my challenge. Pick one principle, just one, and for the next 7 days, practice it ruthlessly. Then come back and comment which one you chose. That's how you anchor this wisdom into your life. If this rewired something in you, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We're not here to pump you up with motivation that fades by tomorrow. We're here to give you timeless tools that rebuild your entire operating system. Remember, Successful men don't chase opportunities. They create the internal conditions that make opportunities chase them. Stop running, start receiving. The universe is ready when you are.